I'm from the University of British Columbia, and the symbol here is our First Nation, and First Nation is a really important culture in BC, and unfortunately they don't have an written history, they rely on oral history. However, they tend to think in terms of 7 generations. They might know their great-grandparents and they might know their great-grandchildren. And that's 100 to 100 years, and that's how long it takes a tree to grow in Canada, and that's how long it takes a tree to grow in maybe in Finland and Sweden, and that's how long we have been using oils for transport, for carpets, for clothes, and almost everything. However, climate change is real. As mentioned earlier, oil is the biggest carbon emitter nowadays, and then how are we going to decarbonize these sectors? As we've seen, climate change is real, happening everywhere. I mentioned earlier, we have forest change in Europe, and we have massive floodings in Canada. We have unprecedented forest fire each year. So one way to really decarbonize the oil sector, which is my research, is to co-process biogenic feedstocks. Currently, we are using used cooking oils. However, in the future, we'll use forest-derived biocrudes. And what I'm looking at is how we can do the transformations. The current oil sectors is black carbon emitters. However, how we can use the current infrastructure and the supply chains, and more importantly, to their customers like the aviation, they don't really have alternatives rather than using these lower carbon intensity fuels. So my research is to looking at co-processing, and one way is when we co-process, the products will go to all different fractions like the gasoline, the diesel, and the jet. And the only method is to use isotope carbon-14, which can tell you the renewable content in each stream. However, this approach is very expensive, and it's not a daily tool for the refineries, and therefore they are really looking for an alternative way that they can monitor the green molecules. So my work really relates to how to track the green molecules. Companies called Preem in Sweden commercialize this process, and I'm sponsored by our local refinery in Canada. So basically, they're generating process data that I can use to build my models trying to predict the renewable content in each fraction. And by doing this, we hope we can decarbonize the oil sectors, and I also hope we can create a better future for my great children. Thank you.